Okay, uh, on this tape, I'm going to try to loosen up to see if I have passed a test that I always put myself through after what I went through in my personal life, I guess. Let me just read this letter to you with a tone of voice that proves that I can take it, no matter what it is. For more than 100 years, we have been speeding on the highway of life without getting caught. Time has come for us to slow down before we crash or get a speeding ticket to end up before a judge in the courtroom of life. Scientists says that movement is everywhere, and God says, I am everywhere. Therefore, God is movement, and movement is God. They are two in one, and time is the Holy Ghost. Why does it take positive and negative to get a juice out of a battery? Why does it take males and females to produce a creature to be the baby ghost of time? Why does it take good and evil to produce action? Why being too good or too bad will not produce long-lasting results? One thing we can be sure of, which is once we start moving in the gray land of ethics and morality, we can lose sight of right and wrong. We may not know the difference between right and wrong, being drowned in emotions. Not everyone should always know the difference between right and wrong. Not everyone should be good or bad all the time, for life will cease to exist if we all do. And that means, and that might give other creatures out there in space a reason to come back to Earth again, while we are still struggling to know the difference between right and wrong without knowing how to live a peaceful life. To have a peaceful life, you may have to be soaked in God's heavy water or saturated in the knowledge of psychology and philosophy. To be raised in the right environment can help, but to have a clean past can do better. Guilty feelings can drain out your confidence and scar your faith, but a clean past can chase the fear out of your life. If you get stuck in your past, you can always blame it on God, who was there with you and did not help you. God says the leaders and the most intelligent ones among us are to be blamed. First of all, you may have to break out of your jailhouse to know what God really wants from you by leaving you to live such a life with such a dilemma. If you are a smart person, you can always shift gears and accept your past. You can always confess to someone you trust before it is too late. If you are a smart person, you can turn negative into positive, knowing the fact that animals' manure can be the best fertilizer for the plants and trees you feed from. Your negative past can be the black gold that is buried underground for our energy use of today. Turning negative into positive is no more or less than being born again. Yet, the majority of us need not to know the whole truth. For God is to prove his existence to us by openly declaring his declaring the truth through his last book. My wish actually for people to go back to the honest and innocent life. You know, before the internet, I was always watching a show called Andy Griffith. It's a life, a simple life, a sincere, honest, down-to-earth life that I'd love for everyone to go back to it. I always watched that show at 5:30 Channel 7 here in Roanoke, Virginia, where my daughter Suhad used to work at. But since internet, I'm sorry to say, I stopped watching it. Anyway, I'd like to thank you, and I hope I made some sense to some of you. Thank you again.